Welcome to the Digital Dreaming Out the Good Arm podcast. It is your host, Asif Ali, joined by co-host of the most, the host of the Delvin Cox Experience, the man himself, Delvin Cox, and our guest host today, my boy, coming out of Philly by way of NYC, the one, the only, Derek Sampson, D-Rock. Derek, how you doing today, bro?
There it is, man. It's an honor, man. I'm doing well, bro. And I appreciate the New York call out. I should have worn my hat, but yeah, I'm good, man. I'm great.
Yeah, about to say, what I mean, but I definitely dig that background. Definitely,
For
speaking of
sure, bro.
hats, I don't know who is
For sure, bro. San Fran,
it?
baby. We out there. West Coast.
Let's
Now I'm an
go.
East Coast guy, but I got love for my West Coast dudes too.
We got
So
all the
yeah,
coasts on this show today. Got
for
East,
sure.
West, and South, baby. That's all we need. We don't need North.
Oh,
We
where
got
you
Great.
located at, Delvin?
Miami, MIAO.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. That's my favorite place to travel.
Yeah,
That's
a lot
dope.
of women
Yeah.
there.
That's why I moved out there, right,
That's
Delvin?
why he's there. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's why I stayed here. I can
That's
I
right.
can I can deal with the violence and stuff. Just to bring the women.
I feel that.
Man, Chirac, something else though. Who's not here is number 24 Cortez Brand Jr., our co-host. He could not make it today, so obviously he's grinding, so we appreciate that. But number 24, man, your bitch ass left me here to man the ship. So, motherfucker, fuck you. Goddamn. All right, so let's get started into it. All right, so starting off, we're going to get into NFL free agency. We have not talked about NFL free agency on the show. We're just going to get because we've been focused on wrestling, but we'll start off with that. Obviously, the 49ers have lost almost, if I'm not mistaken, they've lost 11 out of 22 starters from the Super Bowl championship, not championship, Super Bowl team from 2 years ago. So essentially now, I mean, Jed York has basically said like, he wants to be ruthless with this new kind of free agency. He wants to, limit the cap. And essentially, basically, it looks like the direction they're heading in is basically, building a youth movement, trying to get younger and use the draft to kind of fill in a lot of the holes. But also, it looks like a lot, if not all of starters, will basically be gone without my select few. So let me first throw it out to Derek. Obviously, so I mean, what has been your kind of like impression from the free agency? I mean, not just Niners, but overall, and kind of what are you looking forward to, obviously, in the draft?
Yeah. So, selfishly, I'm a Giants fan. So
Yes, sir.
I've been loving the free agency so far. I'm pretty surprised with how aggressive we've been in the market. So, that's a good thing. I hope that I'm one of the few guys that actually I hope that we end up signing Aaron Rodgers. So I know he's a California guy. I would love that just because, you're hearing a lot about the weakness of the quarterback class this year. So I'm hoping the Giants can do that. I think we might be able to compete next year, but I also know that I'm a little delusional. As far as the Niners though, I honestly, bro, I think it's hard to count them out when they got Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch in the front office. I mean, those guys are proven. I think Shanahan is still the best offensive mind in the game, even though a lot of people think he's kind of tailored off or whatever. But I'm a big supporter of him. But honestly, I'm not surprised by the moves. I'm not surprised that they're losing a lot of people. You got to think, bro. They've had probably the best or a top two roster every year for the
Yeah.
last like 6, 7 seasons because they had cheap quarterbacks on a rookie deal. Obviously, they had Jimmy G too, but Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, they've been able to build around their quarterback being such a cheap position. They've been able to strengthen every other position, and eventually now it's time to pay Purdy. They got to let some guys go. So I mean, that's just money allocation. I'm not surprised, but I'm not convinced they're going to be, bottom dwellers or anything like that. So I think you'll be okay.
Definitely. Delvin.
I kind of agree with Derek, man. But it's just the kind of the casualty of the salary cap, man. You bringing in these players and Brock got to get paid now. It sucks because that team that they had together was so well put together. I would have liked to see
Hmm.
them take another go at it, but these are the breaks, I guess you could say, because it's just how
Yeah,
it goes. But hopefully they can just get a really young core in there and they can kind of just repeat. I wouldn't think it'd happen this year, but like maybe give it 2, 3 years, they'll be right back in the same spot again. Ideally, but I think the cool thing is, like Derek was saying earlier, that we're in like a season right now where people are the Aaron Rodgers hunt again. People want Aaron
hmm,
Rodgers and stuff like that.
for
So there's a
sure.
lot of
Yeah,
teams vying for him. And I think the Giants have a good chance of getting him. If the Jets have,
yeah, exactly, exactly,
like the Giants is an uptick from that. Like
for
so,
sure.
I think that I would like to see him go to the Giants.
Hmm.
I'm tangentially a Dolphins fan, so I kind of know our quarterback's kind of pretty much washed out of there because
Yeah.
concussions and stuff. But it's just one of those things, man. You just got to kind of look at the. I don't want the Dolphins to get him. I don't think he'll be a good fit for Miami in particular.
Mm.
But I feel like they in terms of Miami, they just need to stay young, go young. I don't think Tua is the answer. They need to see what they could do in his place. I think he's a good quarterback, but he's injury prone, concussion
Yeah.
prone, and he's not safe. When I watch him play, I like legit worry about him. Like this
Every
might
time he gets hit. Yeah.
like this might be it. Like but I think both of you gentlemen's teams have a lot of potential there. I think the San Fran it's gonna hurt them now, but I think it'll pay off at the end.
Yeah. I want to agree with both your points, and I want to also kind of bring up that point that you just brought up, Delvin, and like actually kind of first go back to what you said, Derek, about kind of the roster as well as kind of the administration, right? Jed York, the owner, basically was on record to say that Kyle Shanahan is not at risk. He is nowhere near being close to being on the hot seat, right? He's not even lukewarm. Those are his exact words, right?
Oh,
But he
nice. Okay.
said we have to cut costs. We have to get leaner. We have to get younger. We have to get faster. So obviously, to the point, it's basically a mindset shift, right? In terms of because what they've done, to your point about having a top one, top two roster every single year for the past 6 years, right? You
Yep.
cannot sustain that. You just can't sustain that with salary cap. You can't sustain with paying all the guys who you want to pay all your young guns, you want to pay all your dogs, but at the same time, like, now if you believe in Brock, yeah, you have to pay him, I mean, and at the same time, if you want to maintain a good team, a competitive team, I mean, Philly, even though they were aggressive last year in free agency, most of their team was built through the
Was
draft.
drafted. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So, and back to your point, Delvin, I want to say that, I think that, the beautiful thing about where the 49ers are being in the division that they are in, the NFC West, there isn't really that much competition in the division, I want to
I
say, as
agree.
opposed to other divisions. So, I mean, there is obviously, they always have a fighting chance. Now, to your other point, right, it's not going to be immediate. And it's kind of to your point, back to you, Derek, what you said about, I wish that they kept it going for another run at it. I wish that they did too, because this year the Super Bowl is going to be hosted in our own fucking
In San
stadium in my
Fran.
backyard.
Wow.
And now we ain't going to be, we probably ain't going to
Wow.
be in it. But,
Wow.
hey, it is what it is. So we'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, kind of to touch on that in a twisted way, I think that the Niners not being super aggressive in free agency actually it supports what you're saying about Shanahan not being on the hot seat
Right.
because if he was, then him and John Lynch, the GM, they're tied at the hip. They would be a lot more aggressive, and they just be basically they'd be kicking the can down the road a lot like what the Saints did, where
Yep.
the Saints for a
Yeah,
few years they were just trying to chase that ring because they didn't know how long they could keep the team together. And now they're in a position where their salary cap is in hell. They don't have anybody, and they're not competing. You know what I mean? And that's why you saw Sean Payton retire and then come back the next year just to get traded to somebody else. So, in order to avoid kind of making your future so much worse and dead end, they take a little step back right now. But just like you said, I think that bodes well for the future of the team. So, short it's a short step back. Like you said, the division is still relatively weak other than the Rams. So they could still sneak in a wild card, bid or something like
yeah,
that. So it'll be cool.
yeah. And let me add on to that. Frankly speaking, as long as you got a quarterback and a good offensive line, you always got a chance.
Well, they have a good old line. Are we sold on the quarterback?
I think I am. I think
Okay,
I might.
okay,
I think I might buy into it. He
okay.
seemed like he got it.
I like Brock Purdy on a rookie contract, but $50 million a year, Brock Purdy.
That is a bit much, but let's see if he got to earn
Yeah.
it. But you got to look at his accolades so far. So that's a rookie contract. And
That's true.
that's decent. That's
True.
decent. You know what I mean?
But McCaffrey's getting older. Kittle's getting
True.
older, and he's injury prone. Debo's gone. The O line's getting older. Brandon Ayuk's coming off a serious injury. I mean, this is the year to show it. If
Yeah,
he's if he's if he's the man,
he
he's
got to
gonna
show it
show it
this
this
year.
year. Yeah, exactly.
And
So
this is the year where it's the weakest team he's had. So it's kind of like, okay, it's
exactly. Yeah, yeah. So
gonna be a test. It's gonna be fun to watch.
it'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
fun to watch. It'll be. I mean, sleeper. I mean, I guess they're not a sleeper now. Everybody's on them, but I think the Rams are going to be good next year. I mean, we saw they played the Eagles the best out of every team in the playoffs.
Facts.
Yeah.
So and the Rams always draft well, and they got their first round picks this year.
Mm.
I don't know, man. I don't know, Asif. Out of the
Yeah,
wild card berth, I think. I think you're fighting for the wild card,
no,
man.
and to the point, right? Devontae Adams is coming back, just signing there, right? Stafford is obviously re-signed, right? They
Yep.
got rid of Cooper Cup, and ultimately, I mean, it's crazy to say this because you wouldn't be saying this a few years ago, but Cooper Cup, I mean, is a shell of himself, and
Yeah.
actually, probably, cutting bait with Cooper is actually the best thing you could do for your team.
It's a
So,
cold market, man. Cold world. Yep.
Cold game, baby.
oh, I mean, shit. So, I mean, to the point, I think, but one thing I wanted to just kind of think about, I mean, Delvin, you said good offensive line. I don't think they have a good offensive line. I think they have two good
Mm.
offensive players on the offensive line, two good,
Okay.
which is Trent
Mm.
Williams and Dominic Pooney, who made the NFL top 100. Dominic Pooney as a rookie, Trent obviously being the best left tackle in the game,
Right.
going to the Hall of Fame. They
Right.
still need a center. They still need a left guard,
Guard.
right guard, or left guard, whatever, and they still need a right tackle. They have Ben Barch. Cole McKivitz suspended for Burford. You saw him shit the bed in the Super Bowl last year against Chris Jones, and then Chris Jones. I mean, Chris Jones was basically unblocked, when he rushed into Brock and OT. I mean, if Brock had one more second, BA is wide open in the end zone for a touchdown. I mean,
Right. Right.
how
Is
do you play?
McGlinchey still there? Is he playing guard still or no?
He is,
He
unfortunately.
is. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I know
Yeah,
he's. Yeah.
that's
It's
cap.
rough.
Yeah. I mean,
But like,
so
but those are things that they can fix. They
yeah.
can fix those things. This
Yeah.
this season, those are things they can immediately fix. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too harsh on them.
And
Right.
I'm hearing that it's a strong draft for the offensive lineman, the interior offensive lineman.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't know because I'm not a psycho, so I don't watch offensive line film. But I'm hearing that you guys might be able to grab a nice lineman in the draft. So we'll see what
No,
they do.
no, 100%. No. What you heard is absolutely correct. I mean, I've been running through mocks with my buddy who couldn't join today either. So, mom, bitch ass. All right. Next. But basically, the NFL draft, I mean, is perfect this year for guards and centers. Um,
Okay, fuck that. Look, listen, I don't want to throw off the synergy of the call, and I want to get through the agenda exactly how you have it. But since you're a draft expert this year, I need to know selfishly what should the Giants do with that number 3 pick? Do you like the quarterbacks? Do they go Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter? Just tell me as a fan, what do we need? What should we do?
Damn, man. Yeah, you put me on the spot. And
Got to,
this is
brother.
my
I appreciate that Derek got an agenda.
yeah,
I
exactly. I
got to,
love
bro. I
that. Derek
gotta
came in
know, bro.
prep.
I gotta
I
know,
didn't
bro.
get
I
a
got
damn
to.
agenda. He's like, just come on the podcast at
Motherfucker.
6:45.
Oh man. Man. If you have to pick between Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, not Shador, sorry, Cam Ward, well, Shador too, but Cam Ward, Shador are the only two quarterbacks who I think are worth the damn in this draft. You
Okay.
got Abdul Carter and you got Travis Hunter, right?
One of those four will be available because we're at the third
Right.
pick
hmm
for sure.
I mean, it just depends. I mean, who Tennessee takes. I mean, Tennessee looks like all signs are pointing to Cam or Travis, right?
Mm,
And then after that, I mean, what, Vegas, right? Vegas, there's
Cleveland.
two.
Cleveland is too.
Cleveland's two. Okay, so I
Yeah.
don't know what Cleveland is a bunch of shit. I
I
mean,
mean, I
if
don't I
Yes.
we
don't think they're gonna get Abdul Carter now that Miles Garrett re-signed.
right. So it sounds like Cleveland could lean. Could they lean quarterback? Could they get Shador? I don't know. You know what I mean? So really, I mean, it just depends on what happens at 1 and 2. But if you're in the position of maybe getting an Abdul Carter, even a Travis Hunter, who I think is the best player by all positions in this
Me too.
draft.
Me
Yeah,
too.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think
that's why I would love if the Giants could sign Aaron Rodgers and then draft Travis Hunter
Travis Hunter.
because he
Yeah,
could play wide out and corner. I would love that. But
yeah.
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 Do you think he'll play both ways in the NFL?
I just don't know if it's sustainable in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean,
Yeah,
that many
I don't think it
snaps.
is.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I mean, like and he even said when they asked him, at the combine, what position do you like, and then do you like receiver, do you like corner? He's like corner all day because he said
Wow.
anytime you score a touchdown on the defensive side, you silence the entire arena.
Oh, I
So
like that. Okay.
yeah, that
Not wrong.
mindset. Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
I said he not wrong.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. Yeah, you know what I mean. So, I mean, coached by Prime, right? I mean, also, one of the goats for the Niners. The greatest cornerback of all time, arguably. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. I think New York really has to kind of, think about what they want. I really think New York is a position where you take the best player available, kind of like where you guys were a few years ago when Saquon was on the board
Saquon.
and
Yep.
you were number two. You took Saquon, and then he had.
Mhm.
I mean, he worked miracles for you guys, and so
Right.
same shit this
Right.
year. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. You got to get the best option at that point.
for
Yeah.
sure.
But a three's pretty good. You can feel like you can get something really good at three.
Yeah,
I
yeah. I
would
mean,
agree.
I think if the quarterbacks go 1 and 2, I think we'll get the best player on the board, which you can't be mad at. It just sucks because we don't have anybody to play the most important position.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. But there is a chance I'm reading that Shador may not go in the top three. I'm reading that Shador basically a lot of GMs felt like he was very arrogant and cocky was the word that they used. And Shador basically addressed it at a combine saying, yeah, if you think I'm arrogant and cocky and you don't want me to change your culture, then definitely do not draft me.
Mm.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's
That
leaning
sounds like
into it.
that
Okay.
sounds like a Giants player to me if I ever heard one,
Yep. That's that New York brassness.
Yeah.
bro.
I,
Man.
I mean, you know, I try to watch what I'm hearing because, this is the season for smoke screens. You
Right.
know what I mean? So what's real, what's not, we won't know till draft day. That's why it's so exciting. So,
100%. I mean,
Yes.
that's exactly it. I mean, the draft, and I don't know, Delvin, who y'all gonna take. But I mean, I don't know who you want.
what pick do you guys even have?
I don't even know. I gotta look this up.
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Y'all got too much going on in
We got
Miami to
the
care about
13th
football.
pick.
Okay, 13. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
The
we got
15th?
a 13th. Yeah.
13th. Okay, yeah. So you guys are two spots after us. We got number 11. We're right out
wow.
of the top 10, which is but what's funny? Abdul Carter at the combine said that he wants teams like he's trying to make his he was trying to like be like abrasive in his interviews because he was saying like because I think his agent said like behind the scenes he doesn't want to go in the top 10. He wants to go to like mid-tier teams because then he
Wow.
has a chance to compete for a ring. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, I mean it's smart. You
That's
know what I mean? But
interesting. Okay.
yeah, we'll see though. Abdul, Mason Graham, those are guys I want. Josh Simmons out of Ohio State, even with the injury history, he'll be a great fit, as swing tackle or inside. Inside, obviously, probably on left side of Trent, on the Niners.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then I would
Mason Graham.
also want to go for Kelvin Banks Jr., the
That's the
guard.
tackle from Texas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think that's
Yeah,
who we probably gonna end up getting.
I heard
did you
about
gonna
him.
get?
That's who I think we're gonna end up getting.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Kelvin Banks.
'Cause we
Also,
need that.
Armand Membu out of Missouri.
Don't know.
Very, very, very strong, long arm, offensive lineman. And that boy can run. He can run a sub 540, and I think he's 336 pounds. So
Sheesh. Bro, those dudes be moving, bro.
yeah,
Whew.
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So we'll see what happens in the draft. Obviously, we're still 5 weeks away, but this free agency has been pretty good. I don't know if there's any winners so far. I want to say Vegas, obviously, I mean, you got Seattle part two. Sam Darnold going to Seattle, is something interesting to me because obviously Sam Darnold was our backup. Mac Jones now signed with the Niners is
Yep.
interesting because now we're on the topic of drafts. I think Kyle Shanahan was very high on Mac Jones prior to him
Mm,
probably going for Trey Lance. They should have drafted Mac Jones instead of Trey Lance because you could argue that they would have yielded the same results, with Mac Jones as a starter, with a great team, right?
yeah.
No shit on Brock. I mean, Brock's still my guy, but I'm just saying Kyle works wonders with quarterbacks. You saw it with Matt Ryan, you saw it with Jimmy Garoppolo, now you see it with Brock, and
Mm,
you probably see it. You saw it with Sam Darnold last year, and now you'll see it maybe with Mac Jones. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
yeah. I think the two teams with the second year quarterbacks, I think the Bears and the Commanders are
Uh-huh.
doing a great job in the free agency because you got the Bears taking that they're kind of taking the path of shoring up the offensive line.
Yeah.
And then the Commanders, they went out and got Laramie Tunsil, the starting tackle for the
From
Texans,
Houston.
and then
Yep.
they
Yep.
signed Debo Samuel. So they're trying to they're trying to build around Jaden Daniels. So I
Which is
love
good.
seeing teams build around their young quarterbacks because
Yeah.
I think too much is kind of expected out the young quarterbacks, and they don't
I
really
agree.
get an infrastructure. So I like to see teams actually build for the quarterback. So I think that
Too
I want to keep an eye on that.
too often we see teams just get the quarterback and then it's like now what? Then they expect the quarterback to just take over the whole team and run things, but they don't have the speaking like the Dolphins,
Yep.
but they don't have the tools to
Yeah.
help develop that quarterback and lead them to the promised land. Like Tua, I think is a good quarterback. It's just like offensive line wasn't there, and that's where the
And
problem started.
that's the thing. And then they're like, okay, well, if the quarterback doesn't look like Patrick Mahomes his first season, we might have to start reevaluating. And it's like, we got to think there's only a few freaks at quarterback in the
Yes,
whole world. So you got to be able to play to your quarterback's strengths. You can't expect everybody to be Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. Some you might just have a second tier quarterback and maybe just build around them. So I like teams taking that route. So I'm
yeah.
rooting for both of those guys for sure.
Let me ask you this, because on that point, where do you classify Jalen Hurts in that quarterback tiering?
That's a loaded question.
Yes, it
It's
is.
a lot to it.
Yes,
I
sir.
have never been a Jalen Hurts fan. I watched him in college. I've watched him in the NFL. I never looked at him and was like, okay, he's elite as a quarterback, but I think I think based off his track record and his success in the NFL, you can't put him anywhere but right outside those elite guys.
Yeah.
I think the only guarantees, I think the top four has to be Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow. I think they're way ahead of everybody else. Obviously, I would say Mahomes is pretty clearly number one just because he's won the most. But I think those four are the freaks, and then everybody else is in play. And I think it's only right that either Stafford or Hurts get that number five position because they're the only two that have won Super Bowls in recent years. So
Yeah.
that's my. I don't like to say it because I'm not a Hurts guy, but you can't argue with the facts. You can't argue with what he's done. So you know,
Yeah.
I put him at five or six, bro.
I
100%.
agree.
Yeah, I agree too. I want to say, I mean, the Niners fans, it's always fuck Philly, fuck the birds over here. So,
Yeah,
what I mean? Especially the NFC Championship and the history we got. So,
yeah. If Purdy didn't get hurt, y'all would have won that one. But yeah,
exactly,
Yeah.
so
yeah,
that was one of those things. But at the end of the day, like to your point, you can't argue with results, right? Football
yeah,
is not an almost. Shannon Sharp said it best. Almost isn't good enough in sports, right? Either
real
you do it
shit,
or you don't, right?
real
Correct.
Niners
shit.
almost won the Super Bowl last year against KC. Philly
They
actually
didn't.
won it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Niners had two chances at it, bro. Man, I think they were up
Oh,
10 in the fourth quarter in both Super Bowls and lost. It's
yeah.
insane, man. Insane.
Same. Three times we made the Super Bowl this century. Three times we lost. Whereas pre 2000 we made it five times and we won all of them. So
Wow.
one of those
And
things.
and the fantasy matchup thing is funny because Philly this year was amazing. I
Yeah.
don't know. I can't say for sure that they had a better roster than the Niners recent Super Bowl rosters because the Niners were freaks back. They had some guys on their team too. So I mean, Philly just got it done. San Fran didn't get it done. I mean, it is what it is.
I will say I did think Philly had a much better offensive line than the Niners ever did. This
Okay.
offensive line, 6'6", 350 pounds on average. I mean, they had some
Oof.
big boys up there up front. Chris Jones, they showed Chris Jones like in between plays. One where he's lying down on his back in pain. The
I saw
other
that
where they basically like they're trying to adjust his neck because he was
after
trying
the
to,
tush push.
the tush push,
They lit
right?
him up. They lit him up. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He lit
yeah.
him up. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Chris Jones is the best, defensive tackle in the game, right? So, that them boys are bad. I mean, and
Yeah.
they were all built through the draft outside of Mekhi Becton, who came as a free agent access from New York this last year. So, I
Yeah,
mean, it's
but I
all
don't even. He was a reclamation project. Nobody wanted him, so you got to
100,
give the Eagles credit for that too.
100%. Same with Zach Bond. Zach Bond coming out of the Saints.
Yeah,
He was basically a nobody. He came to Philly and he basically balled out behind that defensive line. So
I'm pretty sure he didn't even play middle linebacker till he got to Philly. I think they
until he
moved
got
him
to
there.
Philly, exactly. And Oren
That's
Burks,
crazy.
perfect example. Oren Burks was on the Niners Super Bowl roster last year. And then when Dre went out, Oren basically had to fill in for that linebacker two spot next to Fred. And
Yeah.
Oren got cooked. He allowed 135 yards, 9 of 9
Oh wow.
passing, and a touchdown.
Sheesh.
And like basically then it was just like but then you saw the difference this year. I mean, he played so much better for Philly,
Wow.
but I think also I want to say I do think Philly had a much better defensive line than Niners did last year. I think Jalen Carter is a beast. I mean, Jordan Davis is a beast. Josh
Yeah.
Sweat's a fucking beast. I mean, them boys can get after the quarterback, and
Nolan Smith is a
Nolan
beast,
Smith's a
bro.
beast. Exactly, Nolan
Yeah.
Smith is a young bull beast. Like I
Yo,
mean,
bro, he impressed me so much in the Super Bowl, bro.
yeah, he's oof,
Boy, that was
golly.
a thrashing.
The
Yeah,
ration.
bro.
Belt to ass.
No trash bags.
Man, so
That parade was crazy too. Y'all gotta,
yeah.
yeah, it was
Of
crazy.
course
I
it
don't know if
was.
y'all have ever been to one, but it was crazy because it's right down my street. So yeah, it was wild.
How did you process that as a Giants fan though? I need to know.
It's not easy.
Yeah, I can
It's
imagine.
not
I've
easy.
only been to the Heat parade, so not football, but NBA.
Yeah,
NBA, yeah,
Been to a
yeah.
few of those.
yeah. It's not easy. I'm happy for Saquon though. Um, but next topic.
Let's move on. All righty, we are good. NFL free agency, got our takes there. Let's move on to wrestling. All righty, y'all. This man right here. If you can't see it, I'll be getting close to the camera. If you can read
Mm,
that, let me push it that way. There we go. You can't see me. This iconic belt, which I remember back in the day. And he's, been the franchise player, so to speak, of the WWE, is now obviously a heel. And this next week, we will have the first ever live face-to-face confrontation between the man John Cena and the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes on Raw, WWE
Okay.
program. What are your guys' takes, about how this feud has progressed, and what are you expecting, as we lead up in the weeks of WrestleMania?
Delvin, you take it.
Oh, I got you. I so far I dig it. I like the whole idea of Cena finally turning to the dark side after years and years of people wanting and anticipating it, and it coming in his retirement tour. I think that's a really cool thing. My only knock so far against this whole thing as they've been doing is they're running a parallel story with on the other side with the women with Naomi. So you have the kind of the same with Jay and Naomi, with Naomi, who people didn't think was going to turn heel, and now you have Cena turning heel. So you kind of have these two parallel stories. So it kind of feels like you have to compare them, and it's a little different because Naomi, since Naomi's there every week, it's going to be interesting to see how that progresses as opposed to the Cena one. I like the Cena one a lot because he has the perfect dance partner. It's almost like it feels like a mirror match. Like him looking at a younger version of himself, and even the trajectory of their careers. Where Cody, much like Cena, when Cena was doing the Thugonomics thing, and he was the gangster rapper, people didn't think he was going to be like the world champion. Think he was going to be like the GOAT. They just thought he was Cena.
Yeah,
He wasn't meant to work. Randy Orton was the one who was supposed to be the one that people was looking at. Randy Orton and Batista.
yeah,
Cena wasn't that guy, and it was the same for Cody. Cody came in, people were like, "Oh, you can be Stardust." you know, you, you could be dashing Cody Rhodes, and then Cody made a name for himself. Now he's the biggest star in the company, and now obviously you have the old generation, the old guard, which is Cena, versus the new guard. I like where the story is going so far, where you have arguably two of the biggest stars in Hollywood with The Rock and Cena like teamed up together as this super evil group against Cody. And I'm kind of interested to see where they take the story from here, how Cena is gonna show his dark side, and even more importantly, what music they're gonna give him.
Mm,
Because his music is like people know his theme. And it's very baby faces. So it's kind of like, how do you flip that to make it like heel?
right, right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm the perfect person to talk about that because I don't, I haven't watched wrestling in well over 10 years, maybe 15 years. And so when I grew up watching The Rock and Stone Cold. And I guess The Rock has been a heel before, but it went from The Rock and Stone Cold and then pretty much went into Cena's era. Obviously, Triple H, Randy Orton, there were guys there, but as far as my fandom, it was The Rock and then Cena. So, and then I followed them both through Hollywood. I love their shows and their movies. Cena's always been crowd favorite, Yo,
Yeah.
him turning heel is so unexpected. It blew my mind. It was insanity. I I don't even understand what his character is gonna be. Like I don't understand how they're gonna write him or how he's gonna lean into the heel side of it. It's insane to me. Even when Cena and Rock were going through their rivalry at the point in time, I thought that the crowd was leaning Cena more so than Rock. I thought Rock was more so the heel than Cena. So for them to kind of join forces now, man,
Yeah.
that's a tall order for Cody Rhodes, man. He has had a rough career. He's made a name for himself against all odds, and now he got to do it again. So I love the twist. I love it. I'm
I,
not sure how I feel about Cena going out like that. I know Asif was telling me that Cena's going to be done after this kind of run.
yeah.
Um, I
This is
that
it.
to me is bittersweet though. Yeah.
I love seeing all the videos because, when I know you don't know this, Derek, because you just got back into the game watching wrestling a little bit.
Mm.
But when Roman Reigns beat Cody, that was 2 years ago, right?
it is. Yep.
Seeing all the videos of the men being pissed off and mad and breaking their TVs because Reigns won was amazing.
Yeah.
But on
Mm,
the flip side, this year when Cena turned, looking at all the videos of kids crying,
mm.
breaking
The
down in
emotions.
tears,
Yep.
was crazy. It was like a
Wow.
lot of them. Like kids like 10, 8 years old, because Cena's their guy. And it's like, oh, he turned, and then he turned on their new guy, Cody. I'm
Wow.
like, wow, this is kind of crazy.
Wow.
It's working.
Wow. Wow. This is gonna divide the eras. Though I feel like the older era guys that grew up watching Cena, we're gonna lean Cena, and then the younger generation has grown that affinity to Cody Rhodes. It's gonna split up households, man. This is
Yeah,
gonna do numbers.
it's
Yeah,
gonna be great.
for sure. Yeah.
So yeah,
I
but
appreciate that WWE has managed to find a way to make WrestleMania special again. And not
Mm,
like just like, regular special. Like it feels Super Bowlish now.
mm,
I want to say the last 3, 4 WrestleMania has been like that. And a big part of it's because of Roman Reigns and what he's been doing. But
mm.
you got the Roman Reigns run. Then you have Cody getting the belt the year with The Rock coming back in, the whole story behind The Rock. Now you have this year, and it just feels like as big as last year. And it's crazy because last year felt epic. And they've managed to somehow again make
Top it.
this year feel epic. And I'm
Wow.
like, this is crazy. I don't know if they can keep this up, but this is like a
Mm.
wild ride. Like
I
it's
I
getting
agree
better.
with you. I agree because again, I haven't been in wrestling the past few years, but I'm always hearing about it. And at a point in time, it seemed like right when I got out of wrestling, a little before that, I was like heavy on TNT or just TNA. I'm sorry, TNA. I
yeah,
love
Yeah,
TNA wrestling, and ever since then, it seemed like there were, the competitors were really chipping away at WWE's like stranglehold. Because when I was growing up, it was all WWE.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and then like I said, it went to TNA and so on and so forth. In the past few years, I started hearing more and more about some AEW wrestling, and so now it seems like WWE took it back over and
Correct.
they're running the market again. Like you said, they've made it big again. They've made it damn near. I don't want to be disrespectful, but almost the only show in town, for the
I agree.
casuals like myself. So
yeah.
yeah, I
Ali,
mean they did it. They did it for sure. They're back.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the way it happened. You had 1 year Stone Cold came back.
Mm.
I think that was the same year Cody came back.
Yep.
Then the next year, you had Cody win the title with The Rock there,
Mm.
and like fighting against The Rock as the corporate evil champion.
yeah.
By the way, and CM Punk came back.
And
Oh
CM Punk.
wow.
Yeah. I want to say actually the Cody lost the second year and then CM Punk came
What?
back and then he went up against The Rock and yeah,
Correct.
yeah, that was incredible. No, but you're right because last 2, 3 years it's felt so much bigger. I want to say that's a credit to kind of to Derek's point, to Roman's kind of star power, but also kind of the young and older generation like us, who watched The Rock, who watched Stone Cold, who watched all these guys growing up coming back and giving back to the fans,
Yeah.
doing these
Right.
like appearances, doing these matches, I mean,
Right.
it's insane,
Brock
So
Lesnar's back too, right?
he's actually taking hiatus. He was back for a little bit. He was actually the champion
He
during
was,
that first WrestleMania, but
Oh
he
wow.
lost to Roman. But yeah, pretty much he's been kind of taking a hiatus. So
yeah,
Him
because
him and him and Randy
the Vince
Orton
thing.
being
yeah, the
him
Vince
and
thing.
Randy Orton even being able to the longevity between those two
Oh
is
yeah,
That is crazy.
ridiculous, bro.
was it 23 years now? I mean, same with Cena too. I mean, Cena even though he's been part time, 23 years is 23 years, bro. That's insane.
Yeah.
Insanity, bro. I don't
That's
know.
crazy.
Those guys are legends, man. We grew up in a privileged era. We had some stars, man. We had some
Oh, we
good
definitely
stars,
did.
bro. For sure.
Most
And they love wrestling. They never felt like they were bigger than it or they outgrew it. They always gave back.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that.
Love,
For sure.
100%. Love that too. So yeah, pretty much. I think we're all in agreement. The Cody versus Cena, shit is hype. It is big,
Mm,
and that's really kind of the main event traction for WrestleMania. Let's talk about the other main event potentially, Jey Uso versus Gunther. Obviously, the storyline keeps him working through, right? Obviously, Jey Uso, he got that win on Raw, and then Gunther basically came and choked him out. Jey Uso's kind of having like a Cena build or kind of like a Daniel Bryan build, where basically it's him against the odds. There's the yes, the yeet, kind of all that the fans are behind him, but the champion or the corporate structure or whatever trying to hold him down.
mm.
I mean, what are your guys' kind of impression? And obviously, considering the other elements, right? We'll talk about this in a bit, but obviously Roman and Seth and CM Punk brewing, right? I'm not sure which one will be the main event for night one, right? It's pretty clear Cena and Cody's gonna be night two main event. But kind of, what are you guys looking forward to? Obviously, from what you've seen so far from Jey Uso and Gunther, and kind of what do you expect, heading to WrestleMania?
I think, no offense to Gunther, I think Jey Uso's carrying this feud.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think Jey Uso is magnetic. He's charismatic. He has that it factor to him that kind of makes you want to root for him. And plus, the cool thing about Jey Uso is these past few years we watched his story. Kind of like Cody, we watched him come from like being Roman's right hand man to being his own man, to finding his own success, finding his own path, his own way, and kind of Roman coined him main event Jey Uso, and him actually now getting to the point where he's living up to that name. And people people want to trash him some and whatnot, but my man, since he's been with the Bloodline, since he left the Bloodline, when he essentially became tag champions, I think was it the longest running tag champions?
Yeah.
Longest running tag champions
Wow.
with the Bloodline. Left the Bloodline, won the tag titles again with Cody Rhodes, then won the Intercontinental title, and now he's about to win the world title. I think it's dope. I think what Jey Uso has been doing is amazing, and he kind of built his own lane with it. And I think he's got the whole audience and the whole wrestling universe behind him, and with the whole Yeet movement, I think it's really cool.
I'm hearing that it's been an authentic movement. Again, I can't speak to it. Maybe you guys can correct me, but I'm hearing his growth is authentic. He's charismatic, and I heard rumors. Don't know if it's true that whatever. I don't know if it was the Bloodline or if it was his tag team champ, because I think the Bloodline was three of them. But I know I heard at one point they actually wanted whoever his partner was to be the bigger star, but
Jimmy.
he kind of
Jimmy. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
there's truth behind that.
There
Yes,
is
his
truth.
twin brother.
Wow. Okay.
And a lot of the rest community. I mean, I know Cortez. Yeah, I mean Cortez he texts us about it all the time. He keeps saying no, Jimmy's better. I mean, in the group tags with me and Delvin. But I don't know. I mean, Jimmy might be a better worker, but Jay has the charismatic it factor. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's all it takes. You know what I mean? But Jay's also coming to his own now that they split the tag team because Jay's on SmackDown. Jay's on Raw. Jimmy's on SmackDown. Jimmy's coming to his own as his own kind of singles competitor. But obviously Jay is just on another level. I mean, he's the top merchandise seller for the past almost year
Oh
now.
wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
Okay. So give me kind of an example, right? Who is another like known superstar that may not have been the most technical wrestler? Maybe the diehards thought he had a counterpart that was better, but he just had so much charisma that he made himself into a star. Like, is there someone that you can give me so I can compare them to Jey Uso, like from
oh
the
yeah.
past that I can compare?
Yeah, I can go first. I guess Delvin if you want, but I'm going to say the Miz, because the Miz and Morrison was all worldly better as a
Oh
competitor
wow.
and worker than
Okay.
Miz. But Miz was basically a lot more charismatic on the mic. So
Wow. Okay.
There are a lot of people I can name that has that kind of aura. Because the whole thing that people say about Jey Uso is that, oh, he can't wrestle. He only has these certain moves.
Right.
You can kind of put him in. This is not hyperbolic. I think this is kind of an accurate statement. Early John Cena.
Mm,
Cena got knocked for like the quote unquote 5 moves of doom.
6 moves.
Yeah, 6 moves of doom. And you
mm,
and and what Cena lacked in moves in the earlier days, he made up for in charisma
Right.
wow.
and chemistry. And Jey Uso has that same type of it factor. He
Okay.
he he doesn't have all the necessary moves. He's good. I think people kind of like trash him unnecessarily. They like, oh, he's
Okay.
not. He's a good worker. He's not like he's not amazing. He's not great. He's good. But what he doesn't have in moves, he has in charisma,
Wow.
likability, and he's just that. He's the guy.
Okay.
He has a coolness factor to him. Like he came to the ring with Travis Scott,
Oh
Little
wow.
Wayne.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is this is the kind of
Is that who
swag.
Travis Scott? So that's who Travis Scott was with when he punched Cody Rhodes, or no?
No, no,
No,
no, no.
Travis switched.
Okay.
He switched over from
Okay.
He
Vince.
switched.
Switched over.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
Travis Scott came to the ring with Jey Uso while smoking a joint.
Oh wow. That's
That's
wow.
what
Okay.
Travis
Okay.
Scott was doing.
Okay. Okay. That's dope. I like that. I like that. I don't want to lose our point, but it's funny, Asif. You name dropped Morrison. I believe it's Johnny Morrison, right?
Yeah,
Was his
Johnny
name?
Morrison.
Yeah.
Yep.
So funny story about 6 degrees of separation. So Johnny Morrison, he was on the show, whatever the come up show is, right? To
Hmm.
get into the WWE, that
Tough
the
enough.
Tough enough.
Tough
Yeah.
Enough.
Yep.
Yeah. So when I was in high school playing football, my strength and conditioning coach who ended up becoming the head strength and conditioning coach at Lehigh University. That's where he is right now. He's at Lehigh University. His name
Okay.
is Eric Markowski. I don't know if he's listening to this, but I said if you ever blow up and he hears it, I want to shout him out. That's my dog, best strength and conditioning coach ever. He's the man. He actually wrestled with Morrison in Tough Enough.
Oh
So
my
he was in
gosh.
Tough Enough on it. And I forgot what he told me. I think he told me he was beating Morrison's, beating him down. I don't know if we could curse, but he
You
said he
curse,
was
yeah.
beating him
Say
down.
it. Beating his
He said he
ass.
was beating his
Beating his
ass,
fucking
yeah,
ass.
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot what he said happened at the end that Morrison ended up winning the competition, but
Yeah.
that just brought me back. So yeah, for sure, that's funny. Or that's cool.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah,
No, yeah, Johnny Morrison is one of the most underrated workers, in my opinion.
wow.
Miz obviously, has made himself a star. I'm not going to discredit because he worked to get there from reinventing himself from being a reality TV star to get on Tough Enough,
Yes.
then getting in WWE, then working his way up the ranks. I mean, it's really great to see his ascent. But I
Wow.
think Johnny Morrison, Johnny Nitro was a much better worker. In my
Yes.
opinion. Yeah. So
Wow.
I agree.
I love hearing stories like that because, from the casual perspective, you would think the best wrestlers make it, the best workers make it.
yeah,
And he made it to a degree, but that's not how it goes. I mean, so I mean, I have heard stories of like, you know, uh Bret Hart, obviously Chris Benoit, um, and Kurt Angle.
yeah,
I've heard those stories of like top tier technical wrestlers,
yeah,
making it to the highest level. But
yeah,
it is cool it is funny to hear the story of the other, workers that maybe didn't make that stardom. And it
Yeah.
just goes to show there is no formula.
yeah.
Correct.
Like what makes a star, what doesn't? Who knows, man? So
Sometimes you just have to have that aura. Like a perfect
mm,
example of that is Bill Goldberg.
Right.
Goldberg doesn't
mm.
have like the necessary moves and stuff like that, but he looks like a badass who can beat you up. And,
Because
and
he is.
sometimes that's all exactly. And sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah.
Like this
Mm,
guy looks awesome. He looks like he can beat you up. We
yeah.
like him. We want him to win the belt. That's how that works
Is,
sometimes.
is Batista like that too, or was he technical
Basically.
guy?
Yeah. Yeah. But Jesus is
Yeah,
the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
same thing.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's cool.
but yeah, no, 100%. No, I think kind of to the point there, again, there isn't a formula. It's what the fans latch onto.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
cool.
So that's pretty
Yeah.
much it. Whatever you can do to make yourself marketable to the fans,
Wow.
that's really what it comes down to. And if you can sell, if you can draw,
Mm,
that's what makes you the star, pretty much.
yeah,
wow.
So, but yeah, I think to the point. Yeah, I'm excited for Jay and Gunther. And I mean, to your point, Delvin, I agree. I think Jay's carrying this feud. I mean, it's insane to think
yeah.
this mid-Carter tag teamer, from like a few years ago, who was only known for being a tag team wrestler, is now literally going to be in the main event of WrestleMania, and he's going to go
Well,
over and win the world championship. I mean, it's
and he's carrying the feud.
and
So
he's
you
carrying
both
the
think he's
feud.
gonna win? Yeah, I think he's gonna win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he has to win. No,
Okay. He has to win.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
he has to win. Come on, that's my guy. Yeet. Okay, moving right along. All right, so that's Jey Uso. Roman Reigns attacks Seth Rollins at the end of his match with CM Punk on Monday Night Raw. Are we envisioning a triple threat match? And do you think that should be a main event match either before or after the world title match on night one? Whoever wants to go first.
I'll take the lead on this. I think yes, it's gonna be a triple threat match. I think it's gonna be a main event, but I would prefer if it opened night one.
Yeah.
It opened night one. Whatever happens, happens. Then I think it'll be a cool moment when Jey Uso wins and in main event of night one, Roman comes out there and congratulates him and gives him
Oh,
the
that'd be
belt.
dope. Oh man.
Mm.
I think that'll be a good way to end night one, a good happy ending to night one. Because I think night two is not going to have a happy ending. Unless you're a Cena fan.
Exactly.
Unless you're a Cena fan. Unless your evil heels is a Cena fan at least. Let me
Yeah.
rephrase that. Because I am a Cena fan.
Me too. Derek.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. I mean, I'm down for the triple threat match. I like that idea.
Yeah.
But I don't know. As far as the match placement, I can't speak to that too much. I don't
Got you.
know.
Got you. No,
Yeah.
100%. No, because that's the point. Because I'm struggling with that too. Because the reason my dilemma is that to the point, I think Jey Uso should main event night one, but CM Punk keeps getting on the microphone saying that I'm still going to main event WrestleMania. So I don't know what that means. Is he going to be in the main event of the WWE Championship? Is he going to be in the main event of the World Title? Is he going to be? Is the triple threat match with him going to be the main event? So why do they keep pushing that? You know what I mean? There must be a reason, or maybe it's just like okay, he's going to keep fighting to be main event not this year but next year.
Yeah.
Well, no,
So
I think CM Punk is too big of a star. I think he's gonna get the main event if he wants.
yeah,
So
but that's the question
That's a
then.
good point. That is a very good point. You have three of your biggest stars in the company
yeah.
Yeah,
and in the triple threat match.
I mean, Delvin, you set it up perfectly. I think that's the main event for night one. That's what it sounds like, that triple threat match. So, but
Yeah.
I think so. It would be Jey Uso, CM Punk, and Gunther. Is that what we're saying?
No, no,
ooh, that
that's
you
good.
see that makes sense to me. I'm
Or am
like,
I missing something? I might be
no, no,
missing
no, no,
something.
no, no. No, see, I didn't consider it, but that makes sense to me because now that you said it out loud, I can see that, being a thing,
Hmm.
But
That
then,
would be cool.
yeah, but then the question is, I guess, let me ask you, Delvin, how would you feel? Because I mean, you're obviously, I mean, I'm not gonna say you're a bigger fan, but you're a pretty big Jey Uso fan, probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
So how would you want Jey Uso to go over in triple threat, or would you want him to go over one on one?
I think either way works, honestly. If they can make it a triple threat match, I'll be fine with that because I think that would add another layer to it in terms of I think the people have been saying that Gunther's side of it is a little stale because it's kind of the same thing he's been doing. Like he almost feels like Ivan Drago from Rocky,
Yeah,
which is cool. But if you do that like over and over again, people are like, all right, fam, we know already.
yeah,
Come
Right.
on, let's to the graph. So if you add somebody like a CM Punk into the feud or somebody of that caliber, it kind of adds a whole other dimension to it. Like, then it also adds a little doubt. Like maybe Jay won't win because
Mm.
right now it feels like Jay's gonna win.
right, right.
Oh, so that would be a good twist. They build it up like Jay's gonna win. This is where he gets over, and then CM Punk comes in. Ah, that'd be rough. Okay, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't want to see that. I mean, I want to see Jay stay. I still want to see Jay go over. He needs his moment at
Yeah,
WrestleMania. You know,
yeah.
15 years in the business. So yeah,
Wow.
He
You
earned it.
gotta reward that. You
yeah.
gotta reward that. Yeah. Yeah.
Delvin.
Even if it's a short reign, I
Yeah,
think you gotta
exactly.
reward that. Yeah.
I
That's
agree.
what, I mean, we talked about multiple times before, on previous episodes, it doesn't matter how long the reign is, just having the moment is bigger
Yeah.
than anything else. So,
Oh,
Correct.
okay. Okay.
yeah.
Especially if it's at WrestleMania.
Yeah. If you have your WrestleMania moment, you know what I mean? Like, remember Chris Benoit
That's
won,
the
Eddie
Super
came out,
Bowl.
hugged him, you know?
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
So, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm excited, because there's going to be so many angles going there too. So we'll see what happens with Roman, Seth, triple threat with CM Punk, and we'll see if CM Punk can get either maybe even night two. Maybe Seth injects himself into the John Cena and the Cody Rhodes feud. You
And
know,
this is
That'd be
Seth
cool.
Rollins you're talking about?
no CM Punk. CM Punk might be injected himself to the John Cena because just CM Punk and John Cena have history and Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be cool
I
too.
thought you said Seth. I'm like, who is Seth? But okay.
Yeah. No, Seth Rollins is obviously going to be the one for against Roman Reigns, for the
Oh,
Yes.
against Roman. Got it, got it, got it.
yeah,
Okay.
the Shield. So we'll see what happens there. All right, let's kind of transition. One more match I want to talk about because it's big. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. Io slapped the dog shit. She got that pimp and strong and slapped both of them bitches on Raw when they weren't giving her respect for being the world champion. Just said I'm the champ, this and that. Del, I'll start off with you. What are you looking forward to for this match?
I think it's gonna be a really good triple threat match with three of the best women in the company,
Mm,
and I honestly think Io should win. I think the whole point of the story that they've shown us so far are these women are so desperate to have their main event moment with each other while neglecting Io Sky, who's arguably speaking, if you go based off her career, one of the greatest women wrestlers in history, one of the greatest Japanese women wrestlers in history, to say the very least. She's multiple time champion in the U.S. and in Japan. She set the standard for many Japanese wrestlers,
mm,
and she's in this feud after she beat like the top wrestler in the company, the top woman wrestler in the company, and she's being overlooked. So I think it would be a cool aspect to see her win because these two behemoth women, because they're big women.
Big
You
women.
know, Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley are two larger than life characters, and in the stature and ability and everything. So it's really cool. I think it's a really cool aspect to see Io not only contend with them but beat them because she's that good.
100%. Derek.
And plus, we can always have their one-on-one match next year.
Exactly. Yeah,
They're young.
Bianca. Next year. Derek.
mm. The only opinion I have is I want to see Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair do anything to each other. I don't
Exactly.
care what it
That's
is.
facts.
Yeah.
I do not care what it is. So I will be watching that one most likely on mute, but I will be watching. So yeah,
My
for
man.
sure, for sure, for
Yes,
sure.
sir. Man of culture.
There
All
it
right,
is. So yeah,
I agree with both of you on that. So I'm looking forward to that because it's going to be, like you said, Delvin, two behemoths, and obviously, the kind of, the what do you call that? The David versus the
Goliath. Yep.
Goliaths, yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
both of them. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of shapes out. You mentioned this, Derek, so I'm gonna go to you. Randy Orton now going to be wrestling against Kevin Owens. There's a lot of grudge between that. Randy wanted to do the punt at
Saw
Elimination.
that.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. And so, but then they
Someone came in and
reserved it.
stopped him or something. What
They
happened?
stopped him.
Yes,
Yep,
they
security
did.
came and
Yeah,
stopped him. So
yeah,
he has done the punt over 16 years. So let me ask you, what are you looking
bro.
forward to for the Randy Orton KO feud heading into
I
WrestleMania?
need that punt.
Yes, sir.
I need the punt, bro. Like you're taking
Yeah.
me back to my childhood, bro. And Randy Orton was my favorite.
Yeah,
I know everybody's like, how many favorites did this guy have? It was The Rock, Randy Orton, and John Cena,
yeah.
bro. When
I like it.
Randy Orton used to hit people with the punt, bro, I really thought he was committing homicides as a kid, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, he's gonna kill him. He's going to jail, bro. I need to see that punt again, bro. Please bring it back. I mean, Randy Orton is a legend, bro, an
Facts.
absolute legend, and that's gonna bring back so much nostalgia. I think they teased it, and once you show me something, I gotta have it. So I need to see that. I need to see that punt coming ASAP, bro, for sure, no
I
question. That's
agree.
what I need. Yeah,
Gotta do
yeah,
it.
for
Gotta
sure.
pay that off.
Gotta pay that off. Delvin, let me ask you though about that character work about Randy kind of being the face and kind of, he also alluded to John Cena. Actually, this will go back to you, Derek, too, but first I'm gonna give Delvin a chance. The Randy mentioned Cena when in his first promo on SmackDown last week. We mentioned KO, right? Because the focus on
Yes.
KO at WrestleMania, but yeah, he said it's strange for me to see, one of my good friends, Cena, sell out like that. But hey, I guess, Cena basically hit rock bottom, which, if you know what he means when
That's
he
funny. I
says
like that.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's funny as shit.
So what do, Delvin, what do you envision for Randy, not just at WrestleMania, but post WrestleMania? Let's say Cena, like we're predicting Cena to go over. I'm predicting it,
Yeah.
you're predicting it. I mean, I don't know, Derek. You also think Cena's
So
gonna make it.
Randy's a babyface, just so I'm
Randy's a
clear.
babyface, yeah.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He's
Dope, dope, dope.
right, exactly. We have Randy
How
as a
the tide
baby.
turns
We
and
have Cena as a
Steven's the
heel.
heel.
I mean,
Yes.
what? I mean, we're living in the twilight zone, bro. So
Yeah, real shit. This is a simulation for real.
Yeah.
100%. We in the Matrix. So Delvin, what are you looking forward to for Randy, both at WrestleMania, the build up, and post WrestleMania?
I think he wins at WrestleMania.
Hmm.
And I can honestly see him being someone who faces Cena first for that belt.
Yeah. Hmm.
I think that'll be a really good quick feud to have. Cena go against his old foe, and the roles have flipped and switched. Where Cena's the bad guy, Orton's the good guy. It's a really good way to do that. And also that if you look at what has been going on, they're kind of setting up those potential feuds for Cena already with Punk calling him out. You know, you had Drew mention him. So I kind of like the idea of just like having Cena go through some of his old foes and some of the new ones, even if he has to go through Kevin Owens again
Yeah.
at some point in time on his retirement tour, till it comes back to Cody Rhodes.
So it's funny because again, I love Cena, I love Randy Orton, I love CM Punk. These are guys I grew up off of. But just hearing you talk through it, as much as I would love it for the nostalgia, I don't see how that pushes the company forward.
Mhm.
Having all these, I don't know if they're over the hill, but I would say that their stardom probably peaked already.
Yeah,
To have Randy Orton and CM Punk and John Cena competing, it's just like 2009 again. I don't know, bro. It doesn't seem like it's gonna bring the company forward and make new fans, but I don't know. I could be completely off
oh,
base.
I agree.
Um, it's just interesting, kind of for the old guard to kind of be. But there's also we got to keep in mind everything is about business, and I do believe the WWE just signed a recent contract with Netflix, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Correct.
Yep.
So that could be the play. Let's get the old stars and bring as much views to Netflix as possible. But I don't know. I don't see that because how do you? I mean, all these guys are older. They're not going to be wrestling forever. How do you then take the belt from those three? I don't know.
Yeah,
It'll be
I
interesting.
think I think you're correct. And when I'm signing a Netflix deal, and
Mm.
I feel like you are the person they're trying to get to watch Raw. The
Well,
person who has,
that'll work then.
yeah, who
Exactly
hasn't
it.
watched in a while, who's like, oh, they all don't know none of these new guys, and
Right.
then they see people like Hogan and shit, like, oh, I don't give a fuck about Hogan, but oh,
Mm,
these guys, Randy Orton, John Cena, Batista, CM Punk, that's my generation.
for
I will,
sure.
and they
Yeah.
can, and they still look relatively the same. I would love to see them back in the ring doing something.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. I don't care for Hogan. I heard he got booed recently, but yeah, yeah. I mean, if
Yeah,
we're gonna have Cena and Randy Orton and CM Punk fighting, I'm back. I'm
yeah,
100%.
back for sure. So it'll work.
It's
I
gonna
mean,
work.
I think Triple H is still in the organization. He's like the GM or he runs it or whatever.
correct.
So
He runs the company.
He
yeah,
runs the
let's
company.
get it. Let's get it. I love that they still have Booker T commentate. I love it, bro. I love that they
Yes,
are fusing like the old, you know, legends with the current era. So
I think Derek would like NXT a
Derek will love
lot.
NXT.
mm,
And
okay.
Derek will love Miss Jada Parker.
Exactly. That's
Oh
one of
yeah,
the reasons
yeah.
why I
No, I
said it.
do love Miss Jada Parker.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
sir.
I said I don't watch wrestling. I watch her though. I know her.
Man, hey,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For
there-
sure, for sure.
there's a couple of 'em on that NXT brand, bro.
Lash Legend. Ooh.
Okay,
There's a couple of them.
Yes, sir.
okay. Is that like a subsidiary of WWE or is completely different?
It's
Kind
basically,
of, yeah. It's
yeah,
like their development league.
yeah, Dover.
Oh, got
Yeah.
it, got it, got it. Okay.
So basically, you got Raw on Netflix on Mondays, you got SmackDown USA on Fridays, and you got NXT on Wednesdays or Tuesdays.
Ah,
Tuesdays
okay.
Tuesday, yep,
on
Tuesday.
on CW.
I
CW.
like that. Okay, okay. I like that.
Yes, sir. You definitely like the female, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got some.
I
Whew.
hear so much about it because is it Booker T that like or is it Shawn Michaels? One of them is like pivotal in finding the
Yeah,
new
Shawn
talent.
Michaels is the
Shawn
one.
Michaels, he
Yeah,
finds them.
Okay.
yeah,
Bro, I
He
love
likes
the memes. I love the memes about them, bro. I
he
love the
likes a
memes.
certain type of woman.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they say. I love that. Yeah.
yeah. Oh man, we should. So yeah, sorry, I don't even know what we're talking about before this, but yeah, we kind of just went off a tangent. But
Oh, we're
we're
talking
talking
about the Cena run.
Seth Rollins, I think. Oh, okay.
yeah, CNN ring. I wanted to say, kind of Derek, to your point, your question, and Delvin, you basically summarized it perfectly, right? The Netflix deal in tandem with bringing back the All Stars, in tandem with John Cena his last ride, they're basically with under Triple H's new era. They want they like to your point, Derek. They want the old guard to be mixed with a new guard, not just in the wrestlings, but the fans, right? Because currently they've already proven that with the younger fan base that they're able to sell. WWE's as profitable as it's ever been. I mean, thanks to Cody winning the belt last year, it's entered the highest attendance rate that they've had in since 2002, just based on the
Damn.
attendance.
Yeah,
So
Wow.
basically now, now it's just getting us, us who basically
Wow.
watched it in like the 2000s and the late 2000s and obviously the early 2010s. Like, okay, cool, let's go. You know what I mean? Like bring it back, So that's pretty much where we're at. It's definitely a good spot. I think wrestling's at its peak right now. It's probably the best it's been. I probably the last 15, 20 years.
I
So,
agree.
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That's beautiful. Yeah. Because I remember growing up, you had the SmackDown versus Raw rivalry, and it was intense. So I love hearing that. They're back at the mountaintop.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
That's dope.
dope.
Like you said, it's basically the only show in town, but it's a damn good show. So
For sure.
I agree.
100%. Cool. All right. I think then to close this out, was there any other matches I want to go through on WrestleMania? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, LA Knight. LA Knight wins the US title. Who's his opponent? I think we said Jacob Fatu. Any of you guys want to comment on LA Knight?
LA Knight's dope.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a short title reign for Jacob Fatu.
100%.
Jacob Fatu, if he's facing Jacob Fatu, man,
Yeah.
he ain't gonna have that belt for long.
Sheesh.
Dog that shit.
Wow. Okay.
Jacob Fatu's a beast, man,
Oh,
Wow.
and he about that life.
and he's about that life. Golly.
Sheesh. Okay.
So yeah, pretty much LA Knight. I'm looking forward to him getting he finally getting his WrestleMania spot. I don't know if Braun Breaker's gonna be on. We'll see, but yeah. Anyways, y'all. I mean, that's pretty much wraps it up for today. WrestleMania, NFL free agency, the draft is obviously gonna be. So WrestleMania is gonna be in 5 weeks from now. The draft will be the week after that. So we'll probably continue doing this up to at least week up in the weeks leading up to WrestleMania to kind of recap. Week over week.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll be back obviously every single week. Essentially, I just want to give a shout out once again, my co-hosts, obviously Delvin Cox and Derek, D-Rock, appreciate you, hopefully we'll have you
Sure.
on, more often.
Sure, man. I
Essentially,
appreciate y'all having me, man.
100%,
likewise.
I just want to give a shout out to our fans, obviously the 60,000 plus views on YouTube, the 150 plus subscribers. We gained over 15 subscribers in the last week and a half, thanks to the John Cena shorts from my last SmackDown show. I hope you guys are watching and you guys are liking this content. Obviously, we gained some more subscribers last week, so I think you are. We'll keep that going. Essentially, also on Spotify and on Anchor, the 100, the, sorry, 1,000 subscribers across the 16 different countries that we're basically streaming in. Appreciate y'all. Thank you all so much. Y'all can follow us, DDOG Podcast. Yeah, follow the Delvin Cox Experience on YouTube. Derek, D-Rock, if you got any socials, drop them right now.
No socials, but I'll work on them so that when we go global, when we go viral, I got something. So I'm building that
Facts.
up. Gotcha.
100%. All right, y'all. You already know what it is. DDOG Podcast. We are out. Peace.
Peace.